What if I told you that there was a man who walked on this earth like any other human being, but was raised beyond it? What if I told you that in a world slowly drowning in spiritual darkness, one man chose knowledge over ignorance, discipline over desire, sincerity over applause, and Allah chose him and lifted him? In the Qur'an, only a few words describe him. And we raised him to a high station. No dramatic explanation, no detailed narration, just one powerful declaration. Idris. Who was this man? What did he do to deserve such elevation? And more importantly, in a world today overflowing with information but starving for meaning, can his story teach us how to rise? Because make no mistake, this is not just about history. This is about your soul. This is about whether you will remain tied to the dust or rise beyond it. And the story begins in a time when humanity was still young, but corruption had already begun. Imagine the earth, generations after Prophet Adam alayhi salam. Human beings were spreading. Civilizations were small but growing. People lived long lives. There was simplicity. But simplicity does not guarantee purity. Shaitan is patient. He does not destroy faith in one blow. He erodes it slowly. People began honoring righteous elders excessively. They built symbols to remember them. Then admiration turned to reverence, and reverence slowly turned into worship. The first cracks in Tawheed appeared. Whispers became habits, habits became beliefs, and truth began to fade from hearts. In that fragile era, a child was born who would become one of the earliest carriers of divine wisdom. His name was Idris. He grew up observing, watching, thinking deeply. Unlike many around him, he did not accept things blindly. He reflected on the sky, on time, on patterns, on life and death. His mind was sharp, but more importantly, his heart was awake. And when revelation came to him, he did not hesitate. He accepted the responsibility of prophethood, and with it came a burden. Because guiding people is not easy, especially when people do not want to be guided. And that is where the real test begins. There are moments in history that change everything. Moments so small yet so powerful. One such moment was when a human hand held a pen and wrote with intention. According to early Islamic tradition, Prophet Idris alayhi salam was among the first to write with the pen. Pause and reflect. Writing preserves thought. Writing protects truth from distortion. Writing carries wisdom across centuries. Before writing, knowledge dies with people. With writing, knowledge lives. He taught people structure, measurement, calculation. He studied the movements of the stars, not for pride, not for superstition, but to reflect on divine order. He taught tailoring, helping people move from primitive clothing to stitched garments. He elevated civilization. But here is the difference. He did not separate knowledge from faith. For him, knowledge was worship. Every calculation was remembrance. Every discovery was gratitude. He would remind people, knowledge without obedience is misguidance. But as always, light attracts both seekers and enemies. Some admired him, others envied him. They began whispering, "Who does he think he is? Why should we follow him?" The resistance was growing, and the loneliness was deepening, because the path of truth is often walked alone. And soon, That loneliness would test him. Imagine him at night. The world is asleep, silence everywhere, stars shining above. He stands in prayer. Long recitation, long prostration, tears falling onto the earth. Not tears of weakness, but tears of responsibility. He carried the weight of guiding hearts, and hearts are heavy. People mocked. Some were ignored. Some resisted openly. Yet he did not respond with anger. He responded with patience. He knew something many forget. True elevation does not begin outside. It begins inside. He purified his intention constantly. He fought his ego. He battled pride. He disciplined his desires. Because knowledge can create arrogance, but he refused to let it. And this internal struggle, this unseen jihad against the self, was shaping something extraordinary, something the world could not yet see, but the heavens could. And then, a conversation about death changed everything. One day, reflection on mortality became central to his heart. He observed how people feared death, how they clung to the world, how they built as if they would never leave. And he asked a profound question. Why do people fear death? The answer was simple. Because their hearts are attached to what they will lose. This pierced him deeply. He did not want attachment. He wanted readiness. He intensified his worship. His awareness of the hereafter sharpened. His fear of standing before Allah increased. Not fear of punishment alone, but fear of falling short in gratitude. He lived with accountability in his mind. Every word measured, every action weighed. And when a human lives like that, he becomes different. His presence changes. His aura carries sincerity, and sincerity has a scent that reaches the heavens. Then came the moment that would define his story forever, the divine elevation. In Surah Maryam, Allah says, "And mention in the book Idris. Indeed, he was a man of truth and a prophet, and we raised him to a high station." Notice the order. First, truthful, then prophet, then raised. Truthfulness came before elevation. Sincerity came before honor. He was described as Siddiq, intensely truthful, not just in speech, but in intention, in commitment, in loyalty to Allah. Scholars differed about how he was raised. Some held that he was physically raised to the heavens. Others emphasized spiritual elevation. But what matters most is this: Allah Himself declared his rank high. And when Allah elevates someone, no one can lower them. While others chased status among people, he earned status with the Creator. While others built monuments of stone, he built sincerity in his heart. And sincerity outlives stone. But here is the question that should shake us. What are we building? Because everything we build in this world will collapse, except what is built for Allah. Now, look at us. We have access to more knowledge than any generation before. Libraries in our phones, endless data, constant updates. But are we elevated, or are we distracted? Prophet Idris alayhi salam used knowledge to build consciousness. We often use knowledge to build ego. He reflected on creation to increase faith. We analyze creation and forget the Creator. He wrote to preserve guidance. We type endlessly, but rarely transform. The issue is not access. The issue is intention. Because knowledge without purpose becomes noise, and noise does not elevate. Only sincerity does. Only obedience does. Only humility does. And that is the forgotten formula. The story of Prophet Idris alayhi salam is brief in the Qur'an, but its message is immense. A man who lived with awareness, who combined intellect with worship, who endured rejection, who purified himself constantly, and who was honored by Allah. His story whispers one powerful truth. You were not created to remain low. You were created to rise. But rising does not mean fame. It does not mean influence. It does not mean wealth. It means closeness to Allah. Tonight, when you sit alone, ask yourself, if my life were summarized in one sentence by Allah, what would it be? Would it include truthfulness? Would it include sincerity? Would it include elevation? Because the path is still open. The heavens are still above us. The angels are still recording, and your story is still being written. Will you be remembered for what you consumed or what you contributed? Will you leave behind distraction or direction? Remember this, the one who was raised to a high station, he was first a servant on his knees. And perhaps your ascent begins the moment you bow. The choice is yours. Will you remain tied to the dust, or will you rise?